All right, so like I said, first of all, we're trying a lot of different things in this video, so we're gonna see how it goes. This could be terrible, it could be great, could be my new setup, could never do it again, I don't know. And anyway, we're gonna be making an original cocktail of mine called the Easter Island Swizzle. Now, where did this cocktail come about? Well, I'll get into that story a little bit later. But I will let you know that this is the culmination of a bunch of different ideas, including some that are not my own, into a culmination of what I would think would be a great cocktail for any tiki enthusiast that's throwing an Easter party. So anyway, let's see what we're gonna need to make my Easter Island Swizzle. For the Easter Island Swizzle, you are gonna need lightly aged rum, apricot liqueur, pineapple syrup, lime juice, aromatic bitters, and saline solution. So as you can see, some pretty common things. Now, some of this might be a little not basic or beginner tiki. These are more little intermediate tiki ingredients, right? Like the apricot liqueur and the pineapple syrup. Speaking of which, let's talk about a few of the choices that I'm gonna make. But of course, always feel free to make your own choices as long as it falls within the same category. So like for my lightly aged rum, I'm using Tiki Lovers White, but really any lightly aged rum will do here, although I do prefer one with a little bit more funk on it. So you're gonna want something that's gonna have a little bit more body. So something like a Spanish style column still light rum is probably not gonna be your jam for this cocktail. For my apricot liqueur, I'm going with the Bitter Truth Company apricot liqueur, but there are a bunch of other ones out there as well. Now, if you don't have apricot liqueur on your bar, I highly recommend you go out and buy a bottle, because in and of itself, the Trade Winds cocktail, which uses apricot liqueur, which I've never done on this video, on this channel actually. If you guys wanna see me do a Trade Winds, drop a comment below, let me know so I know to do one. Anyway, it's a great cocktail. It's kind of like an improved pina colada or improved painkiller, in my version, in my opinion anyway. From there, we're gonna move into the pineapple syrup, and for this, I'm using the BJ Reynolds Pineapple Molasses. This is gonna pair really, really well with the apricot liqueur and give us a little bit more of that kind of rounded pineapple, kind of aged pineapple note that we're looking for here. And then for my aromatic bitters, which I'm not gonna use like I normally do, but you guys will see that in a second, I am going with the Bitter Truth Company aromatic bitters, but feel free to use any aromatic bitters that you choose. Anyway, let's build this cocktail for the first time ever. I'm gonna sip on it while I tell you where the inspiration for this cocktail came from. We're actually gonna build this one in the glass, so grab a Collins glass. In your Collins glass, you're gonna add 5 drops of 20% saline solution. From here, we're gonna need 1 ounce or 30 milliliters of lime juice. Next up, we're gonna need half an ounce or 15 milliliters of our pineapple syrup. Next, we're gonna need half an ounce or 15 milliliters of our apricot liqueur. And last but not least, we're gonna need 2 ounces or 60 milliliters of our lightly aged rum. And we're actually gonna take some mint and put it into our glass. So grab a sprig or two. We're gonna give this a nice light muddle. Next up, we're gonna grab our swizzle stick. I'm gonna place that right down in the middle. Then we're gonna grab some pebble ice. Next up, we're gonna take it and we're gonna swizzle it. From here, we're gonna top it off with more pebble ice. Take our aromatic bitters and do about 6 to 10 dashes on top of the cocktail. For garnish, we're gonna grab a big bushy sprig of mint. And of course, a Surfside sip straw. So there you have it, my Easter Island Swizzle. Let's give it a try. That is such an awesome and like complex and balanced cocktail. Automatically, you're getting a ton of mint on the nose and on the palate from that muddled mint. You're getting this sweet pineapple apricot that goes so well together. It's also being tempered by the acidity of the lime juice, and the light rum is just adding this nice other pineapple note to it because we've got a little bit of funk in ours. It's just lengthening this cocktail out. And as you can see, there are a bunch of aromatic bitters on the top of this cocktail, and they're gonna settle as you drink it. Now, the first time you put the straw in, you're also gonna get a little bit of aromatic bitters there, which is perfect. You have a choice here. You can either kind of mix it all in and let it kind of incorporate, or drink it, and as it dilutes, those aromatic bitters are going to increase the flavor profile, counteracting the dilution that we get from the pebble ice. So anyway, there you have it, my Easter Island Swizzle. So where did the inspiration for this cocktail come from? Well, it's kind of a long story and it's multiple parts. So I'm gonna break it down as easily as I can. First off, I wanted to create an Easter tiki cocktail, which don't typically go together. From there, I said to myself, well, where do I even start? So So I Googled some popular Easter cocktails, and the one that got my eye was actually the mint julep, which is a bourbon-based cocktail, basically lime juice, mint, simple syrup, and bourbon in a julep glass with pebble ice. It's a cocktail that I've always been fascinated with because I don't think it's actually very good, but I think it's got a lot of great bones to make into a tiki cocktail. So I said, maybe we start there. I was also lacking some inspiration. So I did what everyone's been doing nowadays, and I went to ChatGPT. And I asked ChatGPT to build me a modern tropical inspired cocktail that would be perfect for any tiki enthusiast to serve at their Easter party. Now, the first drink it came up with is this. I'm not kidding. It literally came up with a tropical julep. No joke. So not only did I find the mint julep that intrigued me, but then ChatGPT kind of reaffirmed we should go with a julep style cocktail. Except it included mint syrup, which I don't really love. Typically it goes bad, it becomes bitter, it's just not a great thing. So I asked GPT to try again. And I said, let's do this again without the mint syrup. And it came up with this. Now it didn't call it a julep, it called it a daiquiri. And essentially it's the same thing, but minus the mint syrup. So we've got lightly aged rum, honey syrup, we've got pineapple juice, lime juice. That was about it. I think it's great bones for a cocktail. And here's the deal. For those of you that are worried that ChatGPT and AI are going to take over your job as a bartender or as a creative, I highly doubt that's going to happen. While ChatGPT and other AI programs are really, really good at what they've been built to do at this point, they're not going to have that human flair and that human touch that need the finishing touches. Essentially, these AI programs are going to get you about 80 to 90% of the way there, but it's going to be up to us as creatives to bring it all the way home. And that's how I view ChatGPT. I don't view it as something that's going to take my job. I view it as something that's going to help my job. It's going to help give me a base to work with, an idea to start with, that I can then run with and make that I know will be more well balanced and more, at least to my personal palate. So anyway, I took the tropical daiquiri that it had, I asked it to come up with a name, it spit out some things, and essentially I took those and then recreated it to call it the Easter Island Swizzle. So we've got a mint julep, we've got as a base, we've got lightly aged rum, we've got pineapple, we've got honey. Okay, what kind of tiki cocktail is similar to a mint julep? Well, if you think about what that really is, it's mint leaves, simple syrup, bourbon. We've got things like a mojito, that works, but I didn't want to go with just a regular mojito or carbonation. What's like a mojito? Well, a Queen's Park Swizzle. While it may not be tiki, it's pre-tiki, it's definitely tiki-esque or tropical, either way you look at it. So I said, what if we build it similar to how a Queen's Park Swizzle is built? Which is going to be lime juice, simple syrup, mint leaves, and either dark rum or actually a lightly aged rum as well. So I took that as the base and then wanted to play with this middle sweetener a little bit. I don't love using simple syrup just for the use of it. So instead I looked back at the ChatGPT Tropical Daiquiri, which had pineapple juice. Well, what if I swapped that out for pineapple syrup? Okay. Honey syrup. That was in the original one. I could keep that, but I don't love how pineapple and honey play together in syrup form. I find the honey is super overpowering. And I typically like to split my sweeteners by a syrup and a modifier. So what modifier do I have that's going to go really, really well with pineapple syrup? Well, something else that kind of harkens Easter and spring to me are stone fruit. I don't know why. It's just, to me, it's a flavor pairing in my head that makes sense. So I went with Apricot Liqeuer. I gave it a shot and it worked really, really well. And there you have it, the long story as to how the Easter Island Swizzle came to be. Well, anyway, that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Again, I have no idea how this footage is going to come out. We'll see. Maybe this will be my new setup. Maybe it won't. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click that little notification bell, follow me over on Instagram and TikTok at EasyTikiDrinks. And I would really appreciate the support if you went over onto Patreon and supported me and subscribed there. I have a super low tier that's basically just like tipping me for all the videos that I do and the support. I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I really hope you enjoy this cocktail. If you decide to make it, definitely let me know what your thoughts are. Anyway, and until next time, oh, and by the way, for those of you that celebrate it, Happy Easter. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Andy, and take it easy.